Hey guys, and thank you so much for joining me here in this space. Today I am sharing with you a class that I call a little twisty and a little bendy. So as the name suggests, we're working with twists and bends and keeping them really restorative today, so working quite low to the ground. Now your twists and your bends target two main regions of the physical body, and they are the back and spine, and then your internal organs, particularly throughout the abdominal region. So for your back and spine, we're looking at reducing strain and improving longevity. So really great for treating and preventing backache. And then in terms of your abdominal region, we're providing a massage upon the squeezing, so in your bends and in your twists when we're working with the rotation or the compression. We're providing that internal massage to stimulate, and then upon releasing from those twists and bends, you've got your blood supply and your blood flow flooding back in. So working to both cleanse and to heal. So really great to improve on those two major regions of the body. So we're going to be starting in supine today, so along the mat. I've got Brucey here who didn't want to move and wanted to join me, so I'm going to work around him. So when you are ready to, just coming down nice and comfortable along your mat. I'll try not to squish Brucey in the process. Easing on down, and then you're going to lift your knees up upon your chest. So we're going to work with some spinal massages initially. And although I call them spinal massages because we are working initially with rotating around the back, you are of course still providing that internal massage to your abdominal organs. So you're just going to hug the knees in and start to circle them around. Now the size of your circle is entirely up to you and the feel within your body. Breathing nice and steady as you flow around. And just working this a few times in one direction and then starting to unravel in the opposite way. Unwinding any tension from the back. Now when you feel like you've worked an equal amount of time in both directions, take a pause. Going to interlace your hands and wrap them around your right knee. Bring it nice and close towards your right shoulder. Flex here through both feet and just see if you can slide your left foot out along the floor. So if there's any back pain here, I would just advise that you keep the foot planted to the floor, and you can use your toes to scoot a little further away, and that'll give you a rough gauge of where you can pause into the stretch. But otherwise, sliding all the way out and continuing to hug your right knee in. The feet stay active here, elbows float out to the sides, and you're rolling back into your shoulders. Taking a few breaths here. So we're elongating throughout the base of the body, loosening up a little into the hip. And then we're going to stimulate the core here, so focusing on a slight positive tension at the abdominal muscles, and just see if you can allow the lift of your neck and your head. And again, if there's any strain, you would keep your head back down to the floor, holding for a breath or two. And then on an exhalation, simply relaxing back down. Going to keep hold of this knee now with your left hand. Right arm just opens out to the right side. And you're going to guide your knee across your body into a gentle supine twist. Now what you're wanting to make sure here is, as you come over into the twist, you don't want to push yourself over to the point that right shoulder starts to roll with you and peels off the floor. So you want to stay at the place where it's comfortable to keep right shoulder firmly grounded down. Gravity is obviously going to help you here in drawing deeper into the twist, but you're not wanting to force yourself here. Just breathing away. Wanting to have that hold time here, just to observe the space you can create. And just feeling that deep openness entering into your lower back and spine. Slow and steady as you ease your knee back to center. Once you are there, we're just going to hug it in one last time. And you might be getting a deeper release into that knee hug here. Then after a couple of breaths, you're just going to slowly bring your left knee back on top of your chest. Swap your hands over. And then the right foot can drop down. And again, sliding out along the floor, pausing to wherever feels right for you.
Now, because you've just worked that deep release to the opposite side, it might be really obvious in finding tension on this side. So just breathe with whatever you find. Into the hip, into the back, into the extended leg. Relaxing through the jaw. Starting to create some positive tension out in the abdominal region and using that to help heal up the neck and the head. Now, through stimulation at the abdominal region, we call that creating Agni, or that internal fire. So we're working from that center point, that fire, that powerhouse. And then ever so gently on an exhalation, just lowering the back of the head, easy down to the mat again. Going to keep holding onto your knee with your right hand, left arm opens out wide, and start to guide your knee across your body. It might just be a little bit into the twist, or you might be coming a little bit deeper across. The hand here, you're wanting to place it on the outside of your knee, just as a sort of supportive position to bring you over, not to push. Keeping the jaw relaxed and the body breathing nice and gentle. So as soon as your breath starts to catch, you want to ease up the twist a little bit. Bringing that beautiful openness now to the lower back on this side. And slow and steady, roll your way back to center. We're going to enter into that knee hug again a second time. Beautiful deep release. And then simply let that leg now go out along the floor, lengthening out. From here, take a nice big breath in so that you can stretch up and back with both arms, full body stretch. And then you can choose simply a side that you would like to roll onto. So to support that, you can bend your knees, lower the opposite arm down, roll onto your side, and from there, sorry Brucey, traveling up into sitting. So ideally here, coming into Vajrasana, now your kneeling position or hero pose. Now this is not a position that is great for everybody. So if you do suffer with your feet or your ankles or your knees, it would be far better to swing your feet forward or to come into cross-leg pose. So coming to find a seated position of comfort where the base is comfortable, but your spine can lengthen upright freely. So just working with that for yourself. When you've entered into your position of comfort, just placing here your left hand down and turning your fingers outward. So as you do that, you're going to bend and lean a little bit into the elbow and arm. Allow your right arm to stretch initially upward and then easing across. So beautiful side bend. Now if you feel that you can wiggle your toes a little further away. I'm just going to come wider slightly so that I don't tickle Brucey too much. And then deepening that side bend. Now your bends here, particularly side bends, are fantastic for opening up into your side ribs and side body, so helping to really expand and remove tension from those intercostals. And in this way it helps to improve your breathing efficiency. So expanding a little bit more into your lungs and your lung capacity. Now if looking up above is a bit too much for your neck, you can of course look down to the ground, that's absolutely fine. We're going to simply slide back into center, extending first, and then opening wide to release down. So as those fingers touch down, you can bring the palm and hand to the floor, a little lean into that side, but keep the elbow off lock, so I tend to bend into mine a little bit. Reaching nice and tall throughout left arm now, initially extending upward, and then leaning over into that side bend. And just breathing with it. Again, the option is there to look up above if that's comfortable, but if there's any strain in doing that, glancing out to the side or down to the floor is fine. Few deep breaths. Now ever so gently coming back to center. This time, once you're reaching in vertical position again, your right arm is going to come up to join the left, Urdhva Hastasana or upward extension. We're going to work the palms outward and extend all the way down just to your shoulder height, and then take a pause. In that pause, you might bend through both elbows just to re-extend through both arms. And imagine that the arms continue to lengthen more and more as if your fingertips are extending you out further and further away.
Now with that beautiful length, we're going to try and maintain that as you start to rotate a little to your right side. Now you don't have to come too far around, just to the point where you feel the working in the back muscles and the twist in your spine. You're not wanting to pull into your shoulders in any way, and of course not into your neck. Keeping your chest nice and open. And breathing. You'll hear me say that a lot, that reminder to breathe. That beautiful length remains as you work your way back to center, and then continue the rotation to your left side. And just explore if this side is a little more free here. It might be exactly the same as the other side, or you might be finding more tension. And we explore this without judgment, just pure acceptance and awareness. Slowly traveling back into center now. Once you arrive there, we're going to keep again the length, but rotate the palms forward and upward. And it's sometimes nice in that upward extension to also lift through the chin, gazing up above, creating a little more space, a little more expansion. And then the chin draws back to center as you rotate the palms forward, down and back behind you. So a lot of work here happening in the arms. This is going to improve their strength. And if you would like to, you can just simply roll the chin down to the chest with that. Again, still breathing. We're going to do that one more time through, rotating forward, upward, and if you're really flexible, they might be coming back around a little bit. Breath is there. Try not to drop through the arms as you come forward, down, and back behind you. And the chin might drop down here, stretching out into the back of the neck. Keep the jaw relaxed, try to soften into facial muscles. Beautiful, and arriving back to center. Now your arms might be starting to feel quite heavy here. So this is where you call upon the breath to keep calm. Slow deep breaths rolling in and out through your nose. Keep them with you as you slowly lower halfway down, but the length is maintained. We're not sagging in the arms, keeping the fingers active. And then slow and steady all the way. So the breath has carried you the whole way through. When you reach down, bring that sense of relaxation and softness throughout both arms. You might give the fingers a little wiggle and just really enjoy rolling back through your shoulders. Just a few times to let go and release. Now to end off here, we're going to come off the knees, ease over to one side, and simply swing your feet forward out in front. Going to place here your left forearm, so elbow and heel of the hand resting upon the knees, so knees are slightly spaced apart, and your right hand is going to come to the floor behind you. A really good positioning tool for the back hand is to use your thumb, slide it down the spine until it's meeting the floor, and that's where you can plant the heel of your hand, and that'll help you to support the back and spine a little bit more as you work your way around. So here we're just going to ease around to the right side, very gentle, mindful twist. And as you're holding the twist, you might want to picture the areas of the body that you're actually feeling this really working into. I like to visualize my spine and sometimes assign it a particular color, almost like in the stimulation of the twist, that power, that color is ignited, it's healing, it's growing. Easing back to center, you can swap your forearms over and again work that, maybe the thumb down the spine to the floor, around here now to the left side. Breath is steady with you. The breath will always be a little shorter in twists, but you can just keep the softness in rather than feeling like it's flowing with sharpness. And carefully rotating back to center. When you are forward facing again, you can extend through with your left leg, slide your right knee and foot in, and perhaps to full flexion with the knee. Bring that foot over the leg on the other side and planting down through your toes. So we're going to enter a more closed twist now, and the goal here is to try and keep your toes in contact with the floor rather than to let them roll up, similar to how we kept the shoulders down in supine. If
planting the toes is painful in any way, you can creep the foot a little further out away from you, and try not to, of course, force them down if that's not right for you. So you might start with a couple of toes lifted and then gradually work your way down to planting down through them. So never with pain. Once you are in position and ready to move, we're going to grab left arm and hug the right knee in. So nice and close to the chest. As soon as you bring it in, allow the chest to rise up a little higher. Again, we're going to place the right hand behind the body and rotating around to the right side. Really isolating here the torso. So working from the center of the chest, breathing and working to plant down through that right foot as best you can. So alongside the twist here, you're going to feel a really deep stretch into the underside of your thigh. That wraps around into your glutes and into your lower back. So I really like this one for that sciatic region of the body. Sciatica is something that I had to work through and with during my pregnancies, and I found this twist really valuable in just reducing some of the pain but also the strain into that area. Carefully coming back into center now, and once you are forward facing again, bring that foot onto the same side, extend your leg through and swap it over. So left knee drawing in as close as it can go, bring the foot onto the opposite side, right arm hugging your knee in, left hand back behind you and rotating to your left side. Visualizing the twist starting from the center of your chest and remembering that you don't have to come around too far. It's just where you feel the workings in your body. That reminder to plant down through that left set of toes. And of course to breathe. Looks like Brucey's so relaxed that he's gone to sleep here. And then ever so gently, unraveling back to center, lifting your foot onto the same side and extending through with your lovely leg. We're going to just now shuffle backward a little bit on the sitting bones. They tend to wriggle around and move, so you're wanting the fleshy part of the buttocks to be back behind you so you can actually find your sitting bones, and then extending through with both legs, anchoring down through the heels. To finish off here, we're going to come into Paschimottanasana, which is a really deep back extension. One thing to remember before coming into this is to bring a little bit of softness in the knees, not wanting to press the knees down to the ground too harshly. And that tends to be not really comfortable in the extension, but it also brings a lot of tension throughout the lower body, particularly throughout the joints. I find that actually brings a lot of tension in my hips. So softening as best as you can through the knees, but finding your anchor points through your sitting bones and through your heels. Toes are going to work their way back towards you. Taking a slow deep breath in to reach forward through both arms, finding the length of the spine, and then up through the body and arms into the fingertips, exhaling to hinge from your hips and reach forward. Now, a lot of people think the goal is to find your feet, and it's not. It's a really nice side effect that happens over time, but it's not the goal. So here, if you're coming into this and you're straining to get your toes and really rounding into the back and spine and it's uncomfortable, or you're pulling back on the toes, I'd advise that you bring your hands wide, either to the floor or just to the sides of your legs. Let them rest with comfort and try to eliminate this idea that you must reach your feet. Relax the breath and then visualize your whole body in this deep stretch. It's not just the backs of the legs that are receiving that stretch here, although of course you will feel that happening, but you want to visualize your spine folding in half, but then continuing to lengthen forward, as if the very top or crown of your head could come to rest in between your big toes. Close your eyes if comfortable. Bring the breath into the stretch. If you're feeling a sense of frustration alongside finding tension, work with it. Don't run away from it. Acknowledge what you're finding. And acknowledge where you can bring the softness in. If that doesn't happen today, that's fine. It might happen tomorrow. It might happen next week or next month. Embracing the journey that you are on, not trying to speed it up. And staying present where you are as you start to breathe in, we'll reach the hands and arms forward and upward again. They're going to lengthen all the way up to the ceiling. Exhaling, hands come wide and all the way down. So as you touch down from that, you can bend your knees again. Find a comfortable seated position. Now, if you are wanting to continue now into more meditative practice, by all means, remain in this comfortable seated position, or feel free to pause the video, come to lie down and continue on with your practice, or just to enjoy that quiet space of time. But otherwise, we'll bring our practice to a close now. So your hands meeting together, thumbs connecting to your heart center and to your body, fingers to the world around you. Softening your head down here in the greatest honor of yourself and your practice today. Working with a little twisty, a little bendy. And hopefully feeling the benefits of those twists and bends upon your body. And I'll share here the word of Namaste. Namaste. Thank you very much for your wonderful company. Enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.